Welcome, everybody, to Texas Motor Speedway. We are virtually live here at Texas Motor Speedway with Turn Down for What tonight. I am joined in the booth with the one and only great Pete Ruzick. Repeat, you got a copy, buddy.
Buddy, what's happening?
What's happening, Pete? We are down in Fort Worth, Texas, looking at a wonderful Texas Motor Speedway that was repaved a couple years ago. These guys are flying on track in practice. This track, I love watching. I've seen it in person multiple times. I've watched the Indy cars here. I've watched the trucks, the Xfinity, the Cup cars. I think it's going to be a really great show tonight. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this track has been on the schedule for many, many years. Fort Worth, Texas, not too far from San Antonio, Texas. And, as we always get closer and closer to letting the green flag fly, we pay homage to the great red, white, and blue, the old banner of the U.S. of A. And it's also the home of the United States Air Force Basic Military Training Squadron down in Lackland. I think that 44 for old Byron Jones actually has their crest on the side of his track. So, great to be here in Texas.
Yeah, we got to get those six-shooters ready and grab those big old cowboy hats and belt buckles tonight because I think we're going to strap in for a great race tonight. Last season's winner, season one, Hunter Peach, who was obviously a multi up in the teens winner last season, was this winner here at Texas Motor Speedway. But Shad Swatsworth was the car to beat last season here and got taken out by a lap down car very late in the race, and Hunter kind of took the spot and took off from there. Shad and Hunter had been battling pretty much all race. Shad led about 45 laps. Hunter led 40. So they kind of been battling all race. But that second half of the race, Shad just kind of dominated after a green flag stop. They went nonstop, no cautions, until Shad got caught up with a lap down car. So Shad's on a vengeance for tonight. He really looked forward to Texas, really was hoping that he would have his work schedule line up to where he'd be able to be here tonight in the Truck Series since he dominated last season. And he's, like I said, he's on a vengeance streak right now. He really wants to win in Texas. He and I both, like I said, as teenagers, came to this track all the time when we lived just outside of Fort Worth. And we both actually did our Rusty Wallace experience on Texas Motor Speedway and got to be in the cars and drive around. Unfortunately, he had to ride around on a Jeff Gordon car. I got the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Mountain Dew car, so I think I won that day between him and I. But, Pete, who out of the drivers we see tonight, we only have a field of, I believe, 16 tonight. Who are you going to be watching besides maybe Hunter Peach and Shad Swatsworth, since those two were so dominant last season?
Well, first off, I'm going to let you know that Shad Swatsworth and Hunter Peach, they were very, very close in practice. Shad is actually running a Dale Jr. camo throwback in that it was back to the DEI days, and he was third fastest in practice, where Peach was sixth fastest. So we'll have to see if things fall that way one more time. But you know what? A guy that has been carrying a lot of momentum since the beginning of the season, Zach Meredith, in that number 17, has really been hauling the mail no matter what kind of track we got on. As much as I pull for my buddy Byron in that 44, I think there's going to be something special about Zach Meredith tonight. Who do you got?
Yeah, I wouldn't stray far from Zach Meredith. He's been a very, very consistent top front runner. Other than, I believe, last week when he did finish well last week. So yeah, that might have been the Xfinity race I was thinking of with Daytona. But yeah, all the results. He's second in points right now, one win. Average finish is seventh. Hunter Peach sitting in the top spot for the points at 110, only 3 points above Zach Meredith. Josh Arnold sitting only 4 points back from Hunter Peach, so 1 point separating Zach Meredith and Josh Arnold for second and third, 4 points separating 1 through 3. And then there's a little bit of a fall off to Brad Rivers, who's not here tonight, I believe, sitting in fourth. And then Commando Griff, our buddy Nate Lehman, sitting fifth at 91 points. Cole Snyder, Daytona winner, both in Xfinity and Truck, sitting sixth in points. Ryan McCall, who I don't believe was here tonight, or possibly maybe showing up late. JB Banner here tonight, Jake Millsap, Gary Huffins. A lot of guys not here tonight that are in this top 10. So there's going to be a big shuffle tonight with the amount of trucks we have on track and the guys who were here and the guys who are not here. So There's going to be a huge shakeup, but between the top three, I mean, I'm gonna have to go. If I don't do this, he's gonna probably say, "Oh, you didn't want to pick me," blah blah blah. But I'm gonna go with Shad. I know he's very good at Texas. He runs this track all the time. He spent 2 hours last season before practice came along to really get used to this track. And I don't know if Bane will admit this, but I think this is the track that really pushed Bane towards learning how to conserve tire. Shab was better than everybody in that practice session that they ran. He was, I think Josh Arnold at the time told me he was almost half a track better than everybody else in the practice session. And Shad didn't end up winning either one of those races, but he did finish second in the Xfinity race. And I think it really taught or really showed Bane that tires here at Texas really mean something. And ever since then, Bane has been an unstoppable force with knowing how to conserve tire, knowing when to go, when to hold back, not to push it, when to cut through the gap and that kind of stuff. I mean, he had all those skills to begin with, but here on iRacing, he wasn't really up to speed or up to par with the conserving of the tires until this race here with Shad, where Shad was just that much better than everybody else. So I'm going to have to go with Shad. I know I'm probably going to have a backdoor pick of Hunter because I think Hunter's probably going to be there right there at the end. He always is. You don't be a seasoned champion for no reason. So I'll go with those two. But Shad will probably be my first pick.
All right. Well, do you want some good news now, or do you want to wait till later?
Go ahead. What do you got?
Right now, Shad's actually on the pole over Snyder by 4/100ths, and it seems like 4/100ths is a common number because Snyder's 4/100ths back, so is Byron, and then Hunter Peach. So it's going to be so far it's really really close for the top six are all under 1/10. Behind Peach, you're going to have Blevins and Meredith, and then you got you got Arnold, Jonah, Bybee. Murphy, and then Lehman so far is about your top 10, but qualifying is still going on. The number one of your brother, Shad Swatsworth, sitting in that number one spot.
Yeah, we'll see where he ends up at the end here. 4/100ths is pretty good, though. So,
oh, yeah.
Long race, 120 laps. He's got to be clean. He's got to avoid those lap down cars like he got picked on last season and found one that just didn't give him enough room and kind of took him out of the race. So I'm hoping he kind of stays clear, and he is my pick. So I'll be hoping to see him down at the end and see if he joins us in the post-race interviews and see if he gets to wave that checkered flag at the end. But let's do a national anthem real quick because we're getting ready to grid. So celebrate that red, white, and blue, as you said before, and give a big salute to the military members, police, firefighters, all the safety workers out there, everybody. So big salute to you guys. God, I love hearing that sound, Pete.
Absolutely.
All right, well, we are here, Texas Motor Speedway, and let's check out the gridding here because I'm pretty sure they're on track because they're getting on and in their trucks, getting those trucks fired up. We are going to look in. Shad Swatsworth is the pole sitter for tonight. Cole Snyder, Daytona winner, sitting second. Byron Jones in that 44 Chevy sitting third. Hunter Peach, last season's champion, last season's winner at Texas Motor Speedway, sitting fourth. Corey Blevins in the 48 machine sitting fifth. Zach Meredith, your pick, sitting sixth tonight. Josh Arnold second in actually third in points, sitting 7th. Jonah Bybee in that 45, sitting 8th. Chris Murphy 9th, and Nate Lehman showing up 10th tonight, Pete.
Yep, starting off, P number 11 in his 98 truck is going to be the one and only Enrique Quinones. Oh, Q-Dog. Jake Millsap of Millsap Designs in that number 19, starting P12. Jeff Lednam in that 37, starting 13th. No unlucky numbers for him. P14 is going to be the 13 of Mike LeBlanc. Jarrett Manning in that number 50, starting P15. P16, a late arrival, Jose Ruiz, rocking that number 23. Then it's going to be the 71 of our buddy old Papa Bear in P17. And then the 77 truck starting P18, Robert Amaral. So we got 3 late arrivals able to finally work their way into Texas Motor Speedway. So it looks like we are going to have a field of about 18 trucks here tonight. And yeah, you see them out there on track, going through the field, getting these things warmed up. It's going to be just about 100 degrees track temp, about 18-mile-an-hour wind. So these guys are going to have a little bit to deal with tonight, Swats.
Yeah, it should be nice for them. That wind might be an issue coming out of the turns, but I don't see them really having that much of an issue. These guys have been practicing. They just ran qualifying, all run good times. All of them are pretty much, stacked on top of each other. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and I believe 5th are all tied exactly the same qualifying time. No difference whatsoever. So that was kind of a flip of a coin on who maybe qualified first. So, Pete, we are going to go green here at Texas Motor Speedway. Shad Swatsworth leading him into that tricky turn 1. Who's going to make it into turn 1? Who may not make it out of turn 1 as they go 2x2 into turn 1 and 2?
Yeah, 2x2, got the 24 to the outside, and the 44 right behind your brother, and then the 26 of Hunter Peach. He's able to move up to the high side, giving him a shove as well. But your brother, he's going to have the preferred line, keeping that Bud #1 DEI throwback on that, pasted to that bottom line. And as they come across the start stripe, it's going to be close. It looks like it's going to be the 1 truck.
I think actually Cole Snyder might have led that lap, but then it flops to Shad. It's so close. I'm not sure who led that lap. But, the top 4 are side by side, door to door. Then they have a little bit of a gap to the back to 5th. That's Corey Blevins. So the top 4 are just trying to blaze and get as far away as they can from the rest of the field and just kind of run this out. But they are smoking just side by side coming out of these corners. I'm surprised, Pete, that they're able to hang on to these things at this speed this early on cold tires.
Yeah, the 24 went ahead and led that lap, but we saw something very similar where 2, 3, or 4 cars broke away at Las Vegas, if I'm not mistaken, might have been Atlanta. A lot of these races starting to bleed in together through the various leagues, whether it's here or ARCS or eSpark or wherever, where you get some trucks that have about the same speed starting to work together, say, hey, let's just get in line and let's drive away. We might be able to see that out of these 4. Right now, the truck that's in P5, you just talked about him, Corey Blevins. He's got 1 truck right behind him and Zach Meredith. But so far, these top 4 really showing that they might be in a little bit of a class of their own.
Yeah, Pete, these 4, these are the guys we've been looking at all season so far. Byron's been up there in the top 5, I think pretty much every single race. Hunter Peach. Oh, and Shad and Cole get together. Oof, that's going to be a big one.
And it looks like the 1 actually got stuck in the wall. The 24 got, that was harsh. I don't know if that started off with a little bit of net code or just going through the trial. They kind of got hooked, not knowing where each other were.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go back and take a look at this one. I think you might be right, Pete. I think this might be a little bit of net code here. So we see him come off the corner here, and they get into that front stretch. Oh, and Cole just comes down a little bit and clips Shad's rear end and turns him right into the wall. I think Cole just, as that corner, the front stretch is so hard at Texas with how it just kind of bends and folds the cars towards each other. Whether you're on the inside, it kind of pushes you towards the outside. If you're on the outside, you're trying to stay away from the wall, so you're trying to angle towards that inside part. So they just kind of came together there. But Cole clipping Shad's rear end and sending him around into that front stretch wall. We'll take a look at it real close here one more time. As it just they're in the wrong spot at the wrong time, and there's no room there, and that's a bad spot. As we see Shad get caught right on the flagpole there on
Right.
the start finish line.
Yeah, that's a hard hit going in, hitting that flat part of the wall just before it straightens out again, going towards the start stripe. And like you said, like everybody just saw there on stream, got caught and then got knocked around in order to be set free. So very, very unfortunate for the one of Shad Swatsworth. We'll have to. I believe these guys get one fast repair, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah, one fast repair,
or
5 sets of tires tonight.
there you go. And I was able to talk to a couple people before the race started. They were looking to have about 35 laps on a tank of fuel. So we'll have to see how everybody manages not only the tires but the fuel here as well, as they were all just waiting for the pace truck to come around and pick up the field.
I thought maybe we were under red flag conditions there, as we had
Right,
4 or 5
right,
of them
yeah.
just kind of barked. But then I realized that they were just waiting on the pace car to come around. They probably went around thinking the pace car would be, around the next corner, and it just was already behind them, so they had to wait. But yeah, this is going to put Byron in the lead, though, Pete. Your driver sitting P1 now with Shad and Cole getting into it. I don't know if there's any kind of arguing. I kind of hear some talking and stuff, but I'm sure Cole and Shad are pretty professional. So if there's any kind of issue, I'm sure they'll talk about it after the race. But at least from our perspective, Pete, I mean, it kind of looks like Cole might have just the way that bend is in that front stretch. It looks like he was trying to stay off the wall and maybe just came down just a little too far. And there could have been a little bit of net code there where it just grabbed a hold of Shad's, right fender there and just kind of, turned him right into the wall. And he just, unfortunately, like an arrow, stuck right into the wall and stayed there. So, fortunately, both of them do have that fast repair. It's a little early to be using it only this far into the race, but you're gonna have to stay clean, try to work your way back through the field, and just we got 120 laps, Pete. This is a long race here at Texas. We're only a handful of laps in, so these guys are gonna have to take it easy and kind of watch what they're doing if they want to make it back up through this field.
Well, listening to a little bit of team and race comms, it seems like there's a little bit of an issue with the pace truck. It was telling or Byron was being told to go ahead and pass the pace truck while everybody had to stop and actually wait for the pace truck to come on by. So a little bit of an issue with iRacing, a little bit of a glitch. Hopefully they can go ahead and get this thing squared away. Being that Pop Bear and all of his admins are very seasoned in racing, being several seasons in now on the iRacing side, away from console, I'm sure they'll all go ahead and get it figured out. But that's what you're seeing on track. That's why they've come to a slow. They're not exactly sure as to how to proceed with getting the leader set, whether it was the 26 or the 44. They got to figure out where they've got to pick up the pace truck.
Yeah, if it allowed Byron to go past the pace truck and put him a lap ahead of everybody, all they have to do is give everybody else a wave around to put them back on the same lap. But you have to do it in order, so you have to go through exactly who was in what position. So if it's Hunter that's second, they got to wave Hunter around to let him go around, catch back up to Byron. They got to let Corey go, then Zach, then Nate, then down through the list to put everybody back on the same lap as Byron. Because of that pace truck where it came out, and because they were so far out in front of the pace truck, it messes up. And iRacing has a few little glitches, but it's not anything they can't figure out.
All right, it looks like the pace truck just came on back around. But even before the pace truck came on by the 44 and the 26, nobody but the 24 and the 1 were actually showing as being a lap down. So everybody was actually still on the same lap. It was just giving different direction to some of the drivers. It was telling the 44 to go on past the pace truck, and it was telling everybody else to wait on the pace truck. So they got it squared away, or at least it seems. And the green, I think they're going to go ahead and defer the green this time. Yellow is going to stay out, and everybody will go on by one more time.
I'm trying to see. I know it's showing Cole and Shad a lap down. I'm surprised they didn't have to use their fast repair and just came right back out before they would have went a lap down. But I think Shad might have had to tow his truck
Yeah.
since it was stuck in that wall. But I'm surprised Cole went a lap down unless he wasn't able to make it back around. I know he got spun out and kind of flipped and everything there, so maybe he blew his engine and wasn't able to make it back around. But not something they won't be able to come back on. It is a little difficult here at Texas. As I said, last season, I think they only had one caution, and I think that was the caution late in the race where Shad made contact with a lap down car that didn't give him enough room coming off. It's almost the same area, too, as Cole, where it just bends there. You want to kind of, if you're the outside car, you want to angle your car to the inside because it shoves you to the outside with as much force as coming around that corner. It wants to push you to the outer wall. And if you're the inner guy, you have to kind of do the same thing as angling your car towards the inner part because if you don't, it pushes you towards the wall. And if there's a car out there, you guys make contact. But like we said, in this case, it just looked like maybe Shad angled a little bit, but Cole maybe angled just a little bit too much, and that net code caught both of them with the fenders. But something we can look at after the races, the admins will look at, but I don't see any. I think it's just a racing deal there, or iRacing netcode. But they should be able to make it back on the lead lap. I think it's going to be if it goes green like it did last season, Pete. This can get really interesting for those two. I don't think you can race your way back onto a lead lap here with green flag stops. I don't think it's possible. You're going to have caution.
Yeah, absolutely. You will have to have a caution or two in order for these guys to get back up there, and having to start all the way in.
Oh, and Hunter fakes out Byron. Whoa. Oh, Hunter pulled the fast one on Byron. Wow. We need to go back and look at that one. That was a huge fake out by Hunter. He got Byron. I mean, he got him. We're going to have to talk about that after the race, or we might have to pull him up here in the booth. He got him on that one. It was close for Hunter, too, of not making it underneath that cone, but he made it. Watch as he comes to the line. Hunter gets it. Byron goes, and Hunter just whips it right back out around that orange box, and Byron is stuck going to pit road.
Byron, over in England and also here, there's a term. It's called being snookered. And Byron got snookered going on down pit road. But you know what? That U.S. Air Force Training Command A-10 Warthog will Burt his way all the way back up to the front. I've got full confidence in my Patriot Esports driver, Byron Jones. But this caution had to be manually thrown again to get everybody back up and in running order. And I have no doubt that we're going to have a lot of great green flag driving that we've grown to be accustomed to here in the Turn Down for What series, whether it's tonight in the trucks or in the Xfinity just a couple of short nights from now.
Yeah, the other thing too is Byron was really smart, really quick at it. He turned he unchecked his tires, so he didn't waste another set of tires, but he did get an extra bit of fuel. So that could come into play later on if we do have green flag stops, where he might be able to run another lap or two further than these guys and maybe stretch his fuel. Now he can really start, trying to play it in his head for strategy-wise on whether or not he's able to make it a little bit further than these guys and maybe do it in one or two less stops than these guys.
Well, I talked to him and a couple others earlier. They were saying about 35 laps of fuel. They're going to take the green next time by since the lights on the pace truck are still on. So we're talking 35, 45. We're talking almost 50 laps, and tonight's race is 120 laps. I don't think he'll be able to make it on one more stop, but if that quickie yellow or something like that happens to fly, who knows?
Are they going one more lap, or can I want to try to grab Byron real quick just to see if he's doing all right.
Yeah, the lights on the pace truck are still up, and I think they're coming off of 2, going down the backstretch.
All right. Byron, you got a copy. This is Swats and Mr. Repeat in the booth.
I got you guys.
All right, but we got to ask, did you get snookered there by Hunter?
So, me and Hunter were and yeah, we totally did. I swung out, he went in, and then I went in, he swung out. We did that about 3 times, and he just I came down, but hey, at least I got feel I can go a little bit further.
Yeah, so we were just talking about that actually. Is now you can run the numbers through your head and start strategizing on whether or not you can go another extra, couple laps further than some of these guys. Granted, they've been on caution laps and they're able to save, but you topping off right there, you should be able to go a couple more laps than they do. So it may change your strategy lengthwise of the race on how many pit stops you may be able to make now with this 120 laps tonight.
Yeah, it has. It is shaking up my whole strategy a lot, actually, and it is sort of favoring in my direction if it does sort of stay green for most of the race. And also, if a caution does fly, it's going to help me out a ton.
All right, do we know what's going on with these laps? If you can give us a little bit of a rundown. I know we've been under caution now. It feels like about 6 or 7 laps now. Trying to figure out. I know you had an issue with the pace truck where it was showing you a lap ahead of the pace truck. Did that get worked out now, or is that what they're still trying to do here?
No, yeah, it's all worked out now. I believe we're getting ready to go here, but yeah, it's all worked out. Guys are where it was. It just has shot me and 4 other guys in front of the pace car, and that's about where it ended up sitting at the end.
Gotcha.
But it's all figured out. We're ready to go here.
All right, one last question for you.
Go ahead.
What did you see there with Shad and Cole?
The car's flying. It's all I got to say. I saw those 2 get collected. I hope they didn't hook a left, and luckily they didn't. They both went right and helped me out a ton.
All right, well, you're sitting back there towards the back now, but you got a full tank of fuel, got 4 freshies on. Let's see what you do here. Good luck on the rest of the race. Maybe we'll pull you in if there's another caution, but good luck on this restart, bud.
Most definitely. Thank you.
All right, I will send you back down to the Patriot Esports channel.
All right, Swats, we are back under green, 26 of Hunter Peach. He's going to be the first one on the loud pedal with the 48 of Corey Blevins. To his outside, Zach Meredith, Nate Lehman, and Josh Arnold, old J-Pa. They're going to round out the top 10, coming off of 2. Couple guys in the mid to late pack got a little squirrely, but able to hold on to it. Top 3 on the bottom, all nose to tail. First truck on the outside, Nate Lehman. Little bit of blinking out of him. I think it might have made the 22 check up just a bit. 26 going to go ahead and lead his first lap tonight.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. Letting Hunter Peach get out front is never a good thing for these guys. He is very, very skilled. He wins a lot of races. Like I said, he was a multi-winner last season, up in the teens. This season, I believe he does not have a win yet. So Zach Meredith is the only winner up in these top 3 right now. But Corey Blevins is another guy that keeps consistently winning in the Thunder Series. He is the point leader over in the Thunder Series. So Meredith, Hunter, and I'm seeing Nate Lehman up here. So that's the top 5 points battle as well. Those 3, I believe, are all 3 in the points battle right now. The only other one I'm seeing is Josh Arnold, who's sitting right back there in 5th. So top 5 has 4 contenders in it.
I'll tell you what, as soon as Zach Meredith finished the lap that he let others go on by. So he got that one very, very important point, and then he backed out of it, said, you know what, that's all I needed right there. I will see the rest of you a little bit later on. So Corey Blevins able to take that 48 to the point. Zach Meredith now P2. Hunter Peach, again, two spots back, sitting P3. Nate Lehman and Josh Arnold. Only those couple of positions have changed, but a lot of traffic in the back behind these guys.
Yeah, like I said before, Shad and everybody kind of figured out that you got to conserve tire here. So Meredith and Hunter going up there, leading a lap, backing off, letting Blevins go. Blevins is more of a full tilt, just go for it kind of guy. I don't really see him conserving a lot of tire in any of the series I've seen him racing in. So Meredith and Hunter, they were here last season in trucks. Blevins was not here towards the very end of the season last season, so he was not here for Texas.
We got a caution.
Oh.
Yeah, we got a caution. Looks like it's going to actually something to do with the 44 and I believe the 45, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, well, let's go see what happened to Mr. Byron. We just spoke to him, so we'll see what happened here. Maybe, hopefully he didn't get involved with a slower car there. It looks like he passed Robert Emerald just before the crash, so we'll go back and take a look here.
It looks like as he was trying to pass the 45 up high, 45 kind of drifted up a little bit, caught onto the left rear of that 44 and kind of spun him up towards the wall. Ouch.
Yeah, we're taking a look at here on the replay, and I'm going to go back and take a look at it again. It looked like, yeah, the 45 of Jonah Bybee was just underneath Byron there, and as they came through the corner, Bybee just slid up just a little bit out of that first groove and definitely clipped the fender. And Byron went for a ride. He's going to have some major damage to that back rear end now. I don't think he's going to he might be able to do some optional repair and save that fast repair, but I don't think he's going to be on pace if he wants to try to get back up to the front early on. I think he might have to wait till later on in the race if that's the case. But he may run down here and grab that fast repair. He's got some damage to the hood, got some damage on the left side and left rear.
Yeah, it looks like the left rear spoilers kind of bent up a little bit, left hood, and as you said, the entire driver's side of that 44 U.S. Air Force Silverado. So very, very unfortunate for Byron. It would have been interesting to see how that fuel strategy worked out after being snookered to go down pit road by the 26. But everybody now will have a chance to come on down pit road, grab 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, fill it up with that Sunoco E15 racing fuel, and get on back out. Hopefully from here, everybody can shake the early race jitters, and we can get into that green flag racing that we're accustomed to.
Yeah, Chris Murphy stayed out, though, so he's going to be the new leader with Jake Millsap, Jose Ruiz. The rest of the field came down, but it looks like Hunter Peach had a long extended pit stop there as he's going to come out 14th. Meredith, Lehman, Blevins, Arnold, Enrique, they were all right there in the top 6 with Peach. And they're still up there. Blevins is now 4th, Meredith 5th, Lehman 6th, Arnold 7th. But Hunter definitely fell 10 spots back to 14th now.
Well, Hunter, he got a point lead earlier. As you see the one of Shad Swatsworth, he went ahead and peeled off track. So he decided that instead of taking the wave around, just go on down and grab what he can. I'm not quite sure if he was the lucky dog or not. Cause I'm seeing the 24 of Snyder on the lead lap. So I'm going to guess that Snyder, he got the wave around with this caution. And now your brother's the sole driver sitting in P18, 2 laps down. But as you said, the 21 of Chris Murphy, he went ahead and stayed out to lead a lap in this number 21 Black Rifle Coffee Ford Silverado. And I tell you what, I'm really liking all these new trucks that iRacing updated. Looking pretty strong.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and grab Chris Murphy here, our new leader, as the lights are still on. So we're going to go another lap before they go to green, and I'm going to grab him real quick and see if we can get a little heads up on his strategy here. Chris Murphy, you got a copy. It's Swats and Repeat in the booth.
I do, yes.
All right, bud, you're driving this 21 Ford Black Rifle Coffee Company truck, and you stayed out on this caution. Is this just part of your strategy where you didn't want to come down and top off, or would you just want to get the position to be up front? You guys weren't on the tires very long there after that first caution, so probably didn't need to come down and get tires, but what was your thinking there?
I kind of figured there was going to be another wreck, so I don't really think this is going to be a fuel mileage run, this first one at least. So I just wanted to make sure I get up front. I only had like 2 or 3 laps on my tires, so yeah.
Chris, it's B. I got to ask, man, I've seen this Black Rifle Coffee all over the place. You want to tell us a little bit about your sponsor while we still got a moment?
Yeah, they're a veteran-owned coffee company. They're making it pretty big. They have a partnership with Cabela's and Bass Pro, I believe. And just doing my best to support a veteran-owned company. Gotta love them.
Absolutely, couldn't
Definitely
agree more. Yeah, and I tell you, Swats, all of these veteran-owned companies, they have some amazing paint schemes out there. No, whether it's a truck, an Xfinity car, Cup car, next gen, whatever. I actually got a chance to see one of them at South Boston Speedway. They are really, really nice.
Yeah, definitely, Chris. Love the paint scheme. Love that you're up front. You are part of my KS Gaming team, so I'm definitely going to be rooting for you here. Love to see you up front. Go get a victory tonight. Good luck on this restart, and we'll catch you after the race. I will send you back down to the channel you were in.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, Swats. So, yeah, it's going to be the 21, the 19 of Jake Millsap. Jose Ruiz, that started very, very close to Shotgun Charlie, all the way in the back. Corey Blevins and Nate Lehman as our top 5. 21's going to be the first on the loud pedal. 19's going to try to gauge this restart, but the 21's got a mirror full of that K&N number 23 back under green.
Yeah, 21, he gets on the pedal real quick. He slides up in front of Millsap a little bit to try to angle down into turn 1 and 2. Millsap trying to stay with him, gets down below and stays right on his rear bumper. There was a little bit of gap there between Jose Ruiz to allow these two both to get away a little bit. These both are trying to separate themselves. The front group is still, they're 1, 2, and 3 single file, but the rest of the field is double filed as they're coming through 3 and 4 now, as they're going to look to try to get single filed and try to battle this out and make passes. But Pete, they're looking awfully dicey out there, trying to be real racy right off the bat here.
Yeah, Texas Motor Speedway, even though the trucks are a bit more stable, they also, they've got a period of being loose as well, especially in the draft. So these guys got to kind of pedal it just a little bit, and just about the time your truck starts to feel neutral, it also gets a little bit tighter as well. You're watching the 21 really get a little bit more of a gap back to Jake Millsap in his Millsap graphics number 19. As you see, looks like Duct Tape fan out there in chat saying, let's go Jake. Jake doing very, very well right now, sitting P2.
Yeah, Duct Tape's always got his family out there in chat, so I definitely appreciate you guys tuning in to watch Jake run around these tracks every week. He's looking really good tonight. It's sitting P2. Blevins, though, is coming up through the field. He's sitting P3. He started, I believe, P6 or P4 as they started this restart here. So he's making his way through the field. Jose Ruiz still sitting 4th. Now Zach Merritt taking that position from Jose Ruiz. Josh Arnold is next. Nate Lehman coming through the field. Jeff Ludnam as well. Cole's still sitting back there, so I think Cole's trying to just kind of take it easy. He had to use that fast repair. He went a lap down. Or maybe both of them actually didn't use their fast repair since both of them set on pit road for that lap down. But they're definitely trying to make some moves now.
Yeah, Cole's sitting all the way back in P17 right now. Just as you said, just really, really conserving his truck, making sure that he doesn't get caught up in anything. And if something should happen in front of him, he's got enough time to get off the loud pedal, get on the binders, get it woed up and slowed up as quickly as possible. In front of him is going to be Robert Amaral, Jarrett Manning, Enrique Quinones, and the one and only Mike Papa Bear Campbell sitting in P13. And yeah, we're staying green.
Yeah, these guys are known for going green. I mean, we've had a couple cautions right here off the start, but I wouldn't be surprised, Pete, to see a couple really long green flag runs where we have some green flag pit stops going on. We've still got 90 laps to go in this race, so these guys are definitely ticking off some laps, but I think they're getting to a point here where we're going to get single file. They've had enough on the cautions, and I think we're just going to run single file. But you got Blevins really coming now. As he got past Millsap, he has just flown to the back bumper of Chris Murphy. Remember, these guys stayed out, and they have a little bit older tires. They only have a couple lap older tires. Blevins is sitting there on fresh tires, and he is coming.
He went around the outside of the 21, kind of the same way we saw the 44 and the 45. But fortunately, the 21 is able to keep that truck pinned to the white line. 48's going to go on up, lead a lap, and that's actually his additional lap, I should say, because he was the leader, I believe, when the caution came out last time.
Yeah, these guys are hauling. If we're watching the mile per hour here, P, it's 170, 175 down the backstretch into the corner in a truck. I myself, like I said, I did a Rusty Wallace experience here. They were 185 in a cup car into turn 1 and 2 is an insane feeling going into that corner, and it was right before the repave, so it was the old style where it really sunk you into the corner and kind of threw you through the corner rather than just riding through it. You were stuck in that bottom lane, just kind of you sunk in the seat and just kind of rolled through it. And these guys are flying through this in a truck. So that rear end is not really getting loose as I would have expected it to be because myself, Pete, I can't drive these trucks. The rear end just seems way too light, and it always gets loose on me. I'm more of an Xfinity Cup guy for the feel of the cars themselves, that they feel a little tighter to me. But some people say the trucks are tighter and the Xfinity cars are too loose. So I think it's just the way you drive the different cars.
I agree with you. Yeah, they can be a bit tighter. The Xfinity a little bit loose. It's just different ways of driving the different packages, different horsepower, different series of cars. But yeah, I do remember back before this track was repaved. I remember coming off of turns 1 and 2, or it might have been right in the middle of turns 1 and 2. There was a big dip in the track, and Dale Jr. and a bunch of the other drivers at the time got with NASCAR and the track owner, and they put a big bladder underneath that part of the track, raised it up, and they had no problems whatsoever. They went on to repave, and I'm not a big fan of the flatter end of this track. I've always got used to Texas Motor Speedway having a great track, great banking. And, I wasn't a big fan of the repave, but it's kind of grown on me, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it either until I've watched several races, obviously, since in multiple years here. But, yeah, I mean, I like 3 and 4 now. Just driving it from NASCAR Heat to iRacing, to all the different NASCAR games we've done over the years. It's been nice to drive it this way, but I mean, I definitely like the banking that it had before. It was kind of like a bowl on both ends, and you just went into it and you just slid through the. I mean, it's kind of like watching Atlanta track today, where it's super speedway kind of style banking with 28-degree banking in Atlanta now, and those guys, I mean, they hugged that bottom line. And if you went a little too high, you saw an Xfinity and truck there over the weekend where it just. I mean, even today in the Cup cars, you saw some guys where they would just get a little bit off kilter and a little bit loose and try to catch that car, and it would just snap to the wall. That's the style of driving I remember being here at Texas, where there were some hard hits back in the day at Texas, because when that car got a little bit loose and you tried to catch it, there was no catching it once it snapped back the other way. You just flew right into the wall.
Yeah, Clint Boyer and the people that were actually up in the booth today, Jeff Gordon and Mike Joy, they were kind of attributing the drivers not being able to catch the cars now to the rack and pinion that's in the next gen or the Gen 7 cars. And I tell you, I saw more cars today get taken out after that rack and pinion being hit than I've seen in years. With the old style, the old mechanics of the cars, they would have been able to drive away with that, after having some contact to the front end. Anymore, that rack and pinion's broken. There's no control of the car whatsoever. In fact, I think when one of the cars was being towed away, you saw the wheel going back and forth. It was just flat busted. So it's unfortunate. It's the direction that NASCAR took with the next gen. Not a fan of certain parts of it. It does put on some pretty great racing, though.
Yeah, I will say, though, there was some tough hits today on the wall, and those cars drove away. Chastain spun out from the lead, blew a right rear tire, smacked the wall, had some damage to the right rear, still finished third today. Granted, half the field was missing, but
right.
For that car to be that fast, or that truck, or that next-gen car to be that fast at an end of a race after smacking the wall like he did, that's some pretty good body work for that car to be able to take that kind of a hit and keep on going. I mean, we watched the Gen 6 cars take hits like that, and it was half the car was missing because it touched the wall. So to take a hit like that and to keep going, granted, some of those hits they took where the front end just smacked the wall. Obviously, those guys didn't really have a chance, but I mean, Kurt Busch finished in the top 12 or whatever it was. He had a front end damage. Joey Logano had front end damage, was still out there. A bunch of guys had front end damage, were still out there. So we wouldn't have saw that, last year. So, but these trucks here, I've noticed a little bit this year too with the brand new trucks is that they've gotten a little bit more flimsy, I guess I would say, or a little more easier if they get touched. It's bigger damage. So I don't know if that's something they changed in the body there, but I still think the Xfinity cars have the best body in NASCAR. for being able to take hits and be able to take bumps and scrapes and not ripping a tire apart because you doored each other a little bit there. The fenders don't fold in on the tire as much, so it is what it is. But it was great racing today, side by side. That was for sure. They definitely talked about it a lot. So. And speaking of that, we have side-by-side racing back here in the pack with Millsap. As Millsap fans out there looking for him, he's right here in the 19 battling Mike Honcho or Jeff Ludnam here in the 37. That's also one of my KS Gaming drivers. So hoping Mr. Ludnam can get up here and try to get to the front with Chris Murphy, who's still in second. Sliding up the track, almost makes contact with Millsap there as Millsap avoids. Jeff Ludnam still gets back out in front as Millsap had to get off the gas, Pete.
I tell you what, that was great awareness. I got to give that to the 19 of Millsap right there. A year or two ago, Millsap wouldn't have had the track presence or the awareness to see that somebody else was sliding up, and that would have been a caution. So congratulations to Millsap for avoiding that after the 37 slid up. We're watching a lot of these guys kind of sliding around a little bit more, getting tighter, getting a little loose as well. But just flat out congratulations to the 19 for seeing that coming.
Yeah, back up front though, Pete. Blevins is probably getting ready to take a nap up here as he's got almost a 3-second gap over second place of Chris Murphy. The rest of the field is kind of stuck together. Third and fourth and second are only separated by 0.3. So they're right on top of each other battling back here. So let's jump to them real quick. But the rest of the field are all kind of stacked on top of each other. We've only got maybe 4 seconds between second and 12, 15, somewhere in there. So, the leader, Blevins, has a bigger gap on second place than second place has over pretty much half the field.
Yeah, now the 14 and Nate Lehman, he pulled into P2, able to get on by the 21. So now we got a 3-truck train. Nate Lehman, Chris Murphy, and Zach Meredith. You got some pretty stout company right here. And then Hunter Peach right now sitting in P number 5 in his Napa Silverado, and then a decent sized gap back to the 23 of Jose Ruiz, followed closely by the 37 that we were just talking about a moment ago. And it looks like Josh Arnold, has kind of joined that group.
Yeah, I'm noticing Hunter Peach, he's trying to make up ground, but he's kind of stuck between two groups. It's almost like if he were to back up a little bit to the guys who are a little bit behind him, he may be able to draft with those guys, because Texas does have a little bit of draft with it, especially if you get a few trucks together. So we see Nate Lehman here getting separated from third and fourth now as he got by both of them. But Hunter is kind of stuck in between the two packs, and he's not able to catch the pack in front of him, but he's not getting caught by the pack behind him either. And the more these guys are battling out in positions as Nate Lehman went by those two, now Blevins is almost right at 3 seconds. So he keeps stretching his lead, and he's sitting in that truck just hoping this goes green for a very long time. Once green flag stops happen, you're going to have a couple guys. Ooh, big wreck back there. Chris Murphy going sideways.
Yeah, so Chris Murphy get up. Yep, he was able to save it. He went underneath the commitment cone on pit road. I have a feeling that's going to. Yep, there you go. So very, very unfortunate for the 21. He'll have to get with the race admin, see what they do, if anything, about that. But very, very unfortunate for the 21. Looks like, I'm not sure if he got a little bit of a tap.
He got some help.
Yeah, I think he got a little bit of a tap by the 17. But great job by him. He actually didn't go down pit road. He ended up staying in the paint, able to pull it back on track, had the awareness of where he was, and away he went. Great job.
Yeah, that one's going to sting a little bit since he didn't actually go down pit road. He was turned down to the commitment line by the 17 of Meredith. I don't know if those two were... If maybe Meredith was a little frustrated because he'd been battling Murphy for so long, and then Lehman came by and went by both of them because they were battling so hard that maybe Meredith just had enough of it, or if he just touched him in the wrong spot there coming off of turn 4 and it just turned his truck a little bit. But it definitely wasn't Murphy's doing of trying to go down pit road. He was definitely turned down there, so that one's going to sting a little bit as he goes a lap down now. Now Shad's going to have to battle with Murphy, though, to stay that one lap down truck. Doesn't look like Murphy took tires or fuel as he served his penalty there. So it's going to be close for those two to battle it out here.
Yeah, Murphy down 1 lap. Your brother, as you just said, Schatz Wadsworth down 2 since the early lap 10, or I believe lap 8 caution when these guys kicked it off. Now sitting on lap number 51 of 120. We're getting closer and closer to that halfway point right now. Corey Blevins still leads by 2.4 seconds over Nate Lehman. So when we first talked about Nate and the pack of 3 that he was in an even 3 seconds behind Corey Blevins. He is running that leader down, Swats.
Yeah, it looks like Nate maybe paid attention to what we were talking about earlier with conserving tire, because he didn't start out and just try to go blazing and go. He conserved tire, stayed back a little bit, made the move later on in the run, clearly got by Meredith and Murphy there pretty easily, actually, and then just stretched it from him as soon as he did. And now he's closing in. He's under 2.4 now, closing in on 2.3. I don't know if he catches him by the time they get to the green flag stops, but Lehman's definitely got a hot rod there. And Blevins, he's more of, like I said before, he's more of just put the pedal to the floor, burn him if you got him. He's just going to go full tilt. He's not really worried about tires. He's not really worried about conserving fuel. He's going to go out there and try to run the fastest laps he possibly can run every single lap to try to stretch his lead. And sometimes at these tracks where you really need to pay attention to your tires, it can hurt you. But if you get a big enough lead and they can't catch you, does it really matter, Pete?
No, it really doesn't matter. And I have a feeling that Nate Lehman, if he catches up, and now that he's down to 2 point, I mean, he's absolutely catch him. In just the time that it took you to talk about him, he's gained another 0.4. He was 2.4. Now he's at an even 2-second gap. So absolutely running him down. And I'm hearing through team comms that people are going to start coming on down pit road for their next set of tires and fill it up.
Meredith is
I
on
think
pit
I
road.
just saw the 26. I think I just heard the 45 and a couple others. So pit road's about to get busy.
Yeah, Meredith is on pit road now. There's a couple others definitely coming down, but I don't know. Does Blevins come now and know that, hey, I'm going full tilt? Oh, Blevins is on pit road, so he did. Yeah, that's where I was kind of wondering if Blevins would come early and get those fresh tires and just try to get as much of a lead as possible, because you do gain a few seconds here on older tires.
Yeah.
You lose that time. So him being put on those new tires and getting out here before Lehman gets new tires, it's taken Lehman a little bit longer to get going because he's conserving his tire for a long run. But if Blevins isn't concerned with a long run, he's just balls to the wall, throw it out there and just burn those tires off and get as far as he can and not have to worry about Lehman catching up to him because of the tires. Lehman's going to have to start making his move a little bit earlier in the run and not conserve as much tire as he's doing, because he's not able to get to Blevins in time. And Blevins pitting early is just going to extend that time with those fresh tires being out there, Pete.
Yeah, well, with Blevins going on down pit road, still in his pit, the 22 of Josh Arnold inherited the lead, and with him now coming down pit road, that gave the lead over to the 24 of Cole Snyder. If Cole comes in this time, it looks like the one and only Pop Bear would then inherit the lead unless he decides to come on down pit road. So quite a few people are actually going to gain that very, very valuable bonus point of leading a lap through this green flag pit cycle.
Yeah, I'm watching the time to see the gap time to see how much Blevins actually gains on this pit stop, and right now Nate is 1.0307 back from Blevins, so he made up maybe 0.2, but it's still climbing a little bit. And this is where, if Nate's this close, does he conserve, half the amount that he did last run, or does he just go full tilt? That's where the strategy plays in. He's this close. He's 1.2. He was 1.3 before the pit stop, 2.3 before the pit stop happened. So he gained a second. Blevins didn't gain as much as he should have. I don't know. I don't know what happened there for Blevins. I don't know if he just had a longer pit stop or didn't get on and off pit road as quickly as Lehman did, but Lehman made up some time.
Oh, yeah, Nate Lehman absolutely made up some time. It could have been his entry or his exit onto or off of pit road. We all know that there's different ways that you can try to, get the best possible pit stop time. But if I'm Nate Lehman and I can see the back end of that 48, all I've really got to do is maintain the gap between me and him. I just know that I've got to maintain my tires. If I was faster than him in the long run, I need to be faster than him in the long run again.
Oh, the
As
50.
You see the 50.
Oh, and he takes
loose.
out Blevins.
Oh, the hard right to the inside wall. 14's going to be
Caution's
able to skate
out.
on by. Caution's out.
Wow. So that's...
Wow, is that unfortunate. And it looks like, I believe with all this, the way that it's going to shake out, Robert Amaral in the 14th spot in the 77 is actually going to be your free pass. Pop Bear not able to get on by him. Jonah Bybee also caught 1 lap down. Your brother and Manning caught 2 laps.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. Shad knows exactly how this feels. This is what we were talking about last season with Shad getting caught up with a lap-down car. Blevins coming up on Manning. He got loose coming out of turn 2, snaps it back, and tries to save it, but as he snaps back, it just cuts right into Blevins, and unfortunately, Blevins gets pinned up against the wall and gets a lot of damage. We'll go back and take a look at this, Pete, but it was not a very good deal for Blevins there. So yeah, as we see, Manning is coming out of turn 2. Blevins is catching him at a way higher rate than Manning is going. And as they come out of the corner, I don't know if it's the air being pushed from Blevins, but Manning starts to get a little loose, goes around, tries to catch it, and snaps it right into Blevins' door and puts both of them on the outside wall. And then, ooh, Lehman actually catches a little bit of the wall too.
Yeah, tiny bit, but that could have been a whole lot worse for the 14. He could have, just... he could have been destroyed when that truck came up if he wasn't already up by the wall. I don't know if Netcode gave that 50 a little bit of a shot or what the case may have been. That was just very just a very quick closing rate, and there you see, no, he's just loose.
I want to go back and look at this and see if Lehman did get any damage from that. It looked like he might have pinned it just as Manning came across. But I definitely know he scraped the wall on the outside of that truck. Ooh, he might not have got any damage from Manning, but he definitely scraped the wall, so that's not going to be very much. He should be able to fix that in a few seconds going down pit road here. But they just went down pit road, so who stays out?
That's a very good guess. But going back to live time, if you actually take a look at the right-hand side of that number 14, there's no issue with his spoiler. There's no issue with his hood, but he does have a bunch of scrapage going down the right-hand side of that Amazon Flex Ford F-150. Sitting right behind him is going to be Chris Murphy, Zach Meredith, Hunter Peach, and Josh Arnold. Now moving up inside the top 5 since the caution, 40 laps ago. So good progress by some, very unfortunate for some others.
Yeah, I'm going to try to grab Griff real quick and see if we can talk to him. I think they got another 2 laps before they go green again. So let me grab him real quick and see if we can get a little bit of maybe damage details from him.
Go for it.
Nate Lehman, you got a copy of this of SWATs and Repeat in the booth, bud.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Just watching you fly around this track. You've been coming for a little while here, catching Blevins there, but unfortunately Blevins just got involved with Manning as he got really loose coming off of turn 2. You were able to squeak through there. How much damage did you get as you're coming down pit road right now on that right side? As it didn't look like you and Manning made contact, but you definitely scraped that wall on the outside.
Yeah, I was trying to get to the outside of that wreck, and looking back, I probably should have just got on the brakes, but I figured he would hold his brakes too, but that didn't happen. So looking at it now, we only have 25 seconds of optionals, so I'll probably sit here and get those figured out. We got a really good long run truck here, so I'm not really too worried about it.
Yeah, we've definitely been watching your pace, and Blevins seems to be one of those guys that just puts the pedal to the floor and just goes all out. You kind of look like you're taking the kind of same way that Bain and Shad and a couple others did last season here at Texas. And I think you were in the booth with me at that time, actually, where those guys kind of conserved tire for 5-10 laps, and then started to try to make a progress, try to make a run at the guys out in front of him. And you definitely were coming on that last run there on the long run. You flew by, I believe it was Meredith and Murphy, like they were standing still, it seemed, and then just stretched it on them and was making progress on Blevins. And then that green flag stop there, you made up almost a second. You had a faster pit stop than him by about 4/10. So definitely flying, and we're looking forward to seeing what you can do here on the long run. Anything you got for us before I throw you back down that you want to talk about?
No, just obviously it's the tire wear that's going to make a huge difference here at the end of this race. It looks like we were one of the only ones that came in and actually put a set on there, even though we only had about 6 or 7 laps on. But I just have a feeling this is going to go green here for a little while, hopefully, and we're going to blow by these guys hopefully again. So.
Well, definitely good luck on the rest of the race. I know you got some damage to fix, but I'm sure you'll be back up front, as you were definitely one of the faster trucks right there as we were watching their times and everything. So good luck on the rest of the race, and I will send you back to, I believe, CCR's channel, correct?
CDR.
CDR,
yeah,
okay.
CDR.
All right, send you back down.
All
Good
right.
luck, bud.
Take it easy, guys.
Later, man.
All right, Pete, so you heard him. He's going to go ahead and fix that optional damage and take the back seat to the back of the line here, but he will get that damage fixed to try to make his way back up through the field. He's one of the faster drivers, Pete. We've seen tonight he's conserving his tires well in a longer run, but as we've seen, that only benefits you when there's a long run, and we've only had one long run of 35 laps that just got completed as that caution came out. So do we see another string of cautions? This is our 4th caution tonight. We had 2 or 3 right there at the beginning within the first 20 laps. Then we had a long 35, 40-lap run. Now we have a caution. So hopefully we can keep going green, as I see Chris Murphy's back out front again.
Yeah, Chris Murphy back out front, but talking again real quick about that 14. Right now he's sitting in P number 9, P10, right around there. He's actually up 1 spot from where he qualified. So knowing that he was able to work his way up to the lead from mid to late pack, he's got the confidence that he can do it again. As we're gonna we're gonna go back green one more time, Swats. As you said, Chris Murphy leading, Jeff Lednam, one of the guys that showed up a little bit late to the track, started out to his outside. 26 of Hunter Peach, Jose Ruiz, and I talked about him a little bit ago. Josh Arnold starting again, P5.
Yeah, Lednam didn't get that great of a start there. I don't know if he just misshifted or something, because J-Pot was all over the back of that back bumper of that 37, and Hunter Peach just took off from behind Chris Murphy. He actually gets out in front of Chris Murphy now within 1 lap of the restart, Pete. So now Hunter Peach, your new leader, last season's winner, last season's champion. Again, I don't think these guys want to see that 26 Napa truck get out front and get to leading laps. That's not a position you want to have him out there.
Yeah, clean air at Texas Motor Speedway is very, very important. As you see the 21 try to maybe fake the 26 into looking inside. Here he is all over the left rear of that Napa Auto Parts Chevy Silverado. Chevy, Ford is your top 4. Looking back to Jake Millsap right now, he's only the 2nd Chevy in this mostly Blue Oval Brigade.
These guys are battling it out up here. Peach up 3 spots, Murphy up 7, Lednam up 10, Ruiz sitting 4th up 12 positions, Millsap up 7 positions, now 6 as he falls back to 6 as Josh Arnold moves into 5th, only up 2 positions as he started up here at the front. Enrique Quiones, Mr. Consistent, up 4 positions, sitting 7th right now, Pete. A lot of good drivers up here, guys who are usually up here, so these guys should get single filed out. We've got about the top 6 or 7 guys that are single filed out, and then we got a couple 2x2s back there, as it looks like Millsap and Josh Arnold are battling it out right back there for that 5th and 6th spot.
Yeah, Millsap up high, Josh Arnold down low. They got the 98 of Enrique Quinones right behind them. They continue to stay side by side, but it looks like the 19 went just a little bit higher, so he's going to lose a little bit of real estate. He'll fall back in behind the 22. Right now, both of them chasing the 23 of Jose Ruiz, as Ruiz tries to look high around the 37. It's a battle for the lead between the 21 and 26.
Yeah, looking at the sectors here, Arnold is a little bit slower than Millsap in Sector 1, and Sector 2, Arnold's actually a little faster than Millsap. So that's where they're making up some time as now it switches to Arnold and Ruiz. Ruiz is a little bit faster than Arnold, but Arnold's making some passes here. Hunter went up there and had a lap. Now Murphy and letting him go by. And I think Hunter's still pulling that strategy of let me go up here, show that I can lead this race, but I'm going to conserve tire and sit back here and wait for you guys to burn them off. It's just how fast and how long do you wait to make that move? That's where the question is. I think Lehman was trying to figure it out, and I think he went a little too long to try to catch Blevins.
Yeah, that's absolutely using the sectors tool here on iRacing. I wish it was actually something that they showed a little bit more detail with in the actual track map. The sectors on the track map would make a whole lot of sense. I think that's really more for the road courses, but absolutely shows you. Or could show you where each is faster. Are they faster in turns 1? Are they faster in turns 2 or the exit of 2? Are they faster in the straightaway, faster on the backstretch? I wish that sector tool was a little bit more detail oriented when it came to these NASCAR races, whether truck, Xfinity, or Cup. But I tell you what, look at this guy. He's sitting back here in this U.S. Air Force number 44. He restarted way in the back, has worked his way back to P number 2. He's going to try to challenge for that lead here momentarily.
I don't know where Byron came from. I didn't even see him in the top 6.
That's what I was just saying.
So,
I have no idea where he came from.
I don't know where he restarted from on that. I didn't even see him in the top 6. So, yeah. He's definitely put the pedal to the floor and said, I'm going back to the front.
He restarted where Jose Ruiz is right now, back in P number 10, working that high line, trying to get around the 21 of Chris Murphy, and does so. Look at this A10 Warthog work his way back to the front. I got to say, big congratulations. Way to rally your way back to the point, young Byron Jones.
Yeah, Byron definitely put the pedal to the floor and said, I'm no longer going to sit back here. I'm going for it. So he definitely jumped from 8th to 1st within a few laps of that restart. I didn't even see him coming through the field. That's how fast he was moving through, as I was paying attention to certain drivers, as I knew they were in the top 5, and all of a sudden you said Byron is in 2nd. So, yeah, he definitely flew through that field from 8th on that restart, and now hopefully he's going to be looking in that mirror saying, I'm checking out. I don't want to be anywhere near you guys. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to try to run away and lead these last 40 laps here, or 46 laps.
The only thing I got to worry about now for him, not with him, but for him rather, is that he used up all the good on those Eagle Feel Goods that he can actually maintain now. Going to the outside of a whole bunch of trucks, yeah, you got to worry that he's really worn the good out of him. But we'll have to see. He's gaining a little bit of time on the 21 of Chris Murphy, Jeff Lednam, Josh Arnold, and Hunter Peach. But you gotta manage your resources. You can't just go balls to the walls.
Well, I think Blevins would disagree with you, because he definitely went balls to the wall real quick earlier and got away almost 3 seconds, if you remember. And Lehman was closing in on him, but he didn't catch him before the green flag pit stops happened. And even when the green flag pit stops did happen, he still was 1.3 seconds back. So that's why I said there's kind of you got to figure out the timing. If it's 30 to 35 laps in the run of fuel, did Lehman wait too long last time? Should he have made the move 5 laps earlier, and maybe would he have been right there with Blevins? But then you look at Blevins and say, all right, well, he went balls to the wall last time. Does he maybe back it off for 5 laps and then go balls to the wall and try to separate? It's a give-and-take strategy where it's flip-flopping all race. Every lap you may be thinking about something different. You can't just go into this with a one-set mind of, I'm going to pit this lap and I'm going to pit that lap. Cautions get into play. Drivers cutting you off and maybe you burning your tires off trying to catch different drivers, or maybe you conserve tire too long and now you can run longer than everybody else. The strategy is fluctuating every single lap. I would actually say maybe every half lap, and that's what those sectors we're looking at, is looking at from start-finish line to midway backstretch to start-finish line. That's what that's looking at. So sector 1 and 2, Byron was just flying through there. I wish I would have had him on the sector grid right there, but I do have him pulled up now, where you can see between him and Arnold, who is sitting second, sector 1 and sector 2, Arnold is 0.2 tenths, almost 3 tenths slower than Byron. So Byron is not holding back.
Tell you what, back when we ran together in NNR, when they made the transition over to iRacing, one thing that Nick Vroman, HD Motorsports, always used to talk about in his post race interviews was clean air. Byron's got all the clean air. He's not having to deal with anybody up there challenging for position or anything like that. And meanwhile, behind him, just a lap or two ago, the 22, the 37, and the 26, they were 3 wide. Now they've all gotten single file with a little, maybe a little bit of a double file action about, 5th or 6th in this line behind the 98 of Enrique Quinones. But yeah, the 22, 37, 26, 98, and all they're back single file, but they are not nose to tail. So this is it'll be interesting to see if these guys are able to catch them with the little bit of draft that's here, as you just saw the 17 get a little slideways and smack that outside wall coming off of 2.
Yeah, I was trying to get a camera angle where I was looking back from Josh Arnold. There is just mess of cars stacked on top of each other. You're talking about how they're so far or so much they are grouped together. Looking at the timer for the gap from 2nd to 9th, they're 2 seconds apart. That's not very much for that many cars to be separated 2 seconds. That's crazy to be that close. And even back to 10th, you're 3 seconds. So I mean that's a lot of cars stacked and on top of each other here. But this first group of J-Paw, Honcho, Peach, and Enrique are separating from that second pack, and they are starting to try to run down Byron. So this is where you were talking about, Pete. Did Byron get out too far, too early, and burn off his stuff as the rest of them set back here? And that's why he was able to blow the doors off of them, is they didn't jump and go. They kind of just, eased into it and kind of saved those tires for a little bit more of a mid-run than such an early run.
Yeah, it looks like the J-Pie and the group are a little bit faster than him going through 3 and 4, but he's able to pull back to just about a second going through turns 1 and 2. Now officially under 1 second back between the 44 and the 22. It'll be interesting to see what happens when they all catch this 44. Do they are they all going to be able to just go on by him? Since the draft will no longer have an effect, or have they now burned up their stuff trying to catch up to him? It'll be interesting. But J-Pod now clearly has the draft from the 44 on the hood of that number 22, and he's got a little bit of a gap now back to the 37. So that just goes to show that he's getting that that suck up to read that Patriot Esports back tailgate for the 44.
Yeah, looking at the lap time speed, if you look at the grid I have up, 79, 80, 81, 82, and 83 for lap times.
Absolutely.
Arnold was only gaining 1/100 or 1.5 1/100s. Then 81, he gained 7 100s. 82, he gained almost 2 tenths. 83 gained 4 tenths. So he's doubling every single lap the time. And look at him dive underneath Byron now for the lead, Josh Arnold, into turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, Josh Arnold, he's going to be able to go ahead and slide underneath that 44. 44 is going to go ahead. Oh, I thought he was going to check up. These guys going to stay side by side for the lead. Going down the backstretch, going into turns 3 and 4. We'll have to see if that allows the 37, the 26 and 98 to close on in on them. We'll have to see. But yeah, new leader for the first time. Double deuce, J-Pie in the lead.
I think J-Paw was the fastest in practice, if I remember correctly. So that's pretty good for J-Paw to be up here. We haven't seen a lot of him this season being up front, even though he's right there in the top 3 for points. He's not really had the first and second place finishes that we're accustomed to seeing. He's just been right here around the top 5, kind of floating. And to see him first at Texas, that's a good sign for J-Paw to get these 1.5 miles done. This is our, I believe, third 1.5 mile in a row, and I think we go to a different style of racing next week, Pete.
Yeah, in just a moment, I'll go ahead and take a look at the schedule that's coming up, that we kind of talk about that. But as quickly as J-Paw was able to catch up to that 44, he's now put 7 tenths gap back to Byron Jones. So he's pulling away. That clearly answered what was going to happen once he caught him. Was he going to have to battle him for a little bit, or was he just going to be able to get on by? And it looks like get on by was the way for him to go.
Well, Pete, I'll give you a clue to next week. There happens to be a grandfather clock involved.
Ooh.
And Denny Hamlin said it best. It's just short track racing. So we're going to the track that is only a few hours from you and I, Martinsville.
Yeah.
So it'll be a short track, Rubbins racing. Got to make some moves. Got to give some bumps into the corner. Got to do those, bump and runs. It's going to be fun next week. So going from a 1.5 mile, 3 races straight with Daytona being first as the big super speedway. Then we went Las Vegas, Kansas, Texas. Now we're going to a short track. Then we go to Dover. Then we go to the imaginary fantasy, big, giant iRacing super speedway. So there's a lot of tracks mixed in here. Then it gets real tricky with going to Road America. One of my favorite tracks, actually, as a road course. Then we go to that big, giant, tricky triangle thing that I think they should throw down and make 2 or 3 tracks into that one track. But, pit stops are happening, J-Paw, on pit road as we head down into lap 90.
Yeah, so going into lap 90, barring a caution, this should be the last pit stop for all these guys. Now, you got to kind of wonder, if J-Paw went down, how much longer is it going to be before everybody else follows suit? Because the more they stay out, the more time they're going to give up to that 22. If I'm Byron, if I'm the 26 of Hunter Peach, Jeff Lednam, and others, you got to wonder when they're going to come on down, because when J-Paw comes out with those 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, he's going to be flying. Or was it just that the 26, 44, 37, and 98 felt they were too close and didn't feel safe about making their pit road entrance?
I mean, it could be a couple different things there. Did J-Ball come too early? Nobody else coming with him. He's going to come out by himself and making passes. The rest of these guys might be able to come in at the same time. Again, that could cause issues coming on a pit road with that many trucks coming in on one time. But they could come out at the same time and be able to, draft with each other and push each other down the track. So there's a lot of different strategies here. J-Paw can come down, get those 4 freshies, be one of the fastest trucks on track. But if a caution comes out and he does not clear the leader and get his lap back, that's going to be a problem for him, as he's going to have to take the wave around and start at the back of the field while everybody else pits and gets those 4 freshies like he just did.
Absolutely. Hunter Peach, the 44 Byron Jones, 37 of Jeff Lednam. They've continued to stay out. That's your top 3. Nate Lehman, who started way in the back after that issue earlier where he had to come on down and fix some damage after just barely scraping the wall. He's up to P number 4, and Jose Ruiz in at 23. He's up to P5. Jake Millsap, Mike LeBlanc, Papa Bear Mike Campbell, Cole Snyder, and Jonah Bybee in that 44, making up the rest of your top 10. Chris Murphy, Josh Arnold, Enrique Quinones, Zach Meredith, Shad Swatsworth, Jarrett Manning, Robert Amaral, and Corey Blevins going to round out your full 18 truck field.
Yeah, I'm trying to look here, and I don't know if maybe these guys are just going to run it till it runs out of fuel. And come down and only get the amount of fuel that they need to finish the race, which gives them a shorter pit stop compared to Josh Arnold's full pit stop to get full tank of fuel, 4 tires, and get out of there. He had a 14.7 pit stop, so he went full tilt with everything to fill up completely to go through the rest of this race. But these guys here, if they can run another 10, 15 laps, it should be close to that. But I don't know. I think J-Paul was just trying to pull strategy. And was kind of maybe hoping that the rest of the field, I don't know, maybe he was thinking these guys would stay out and he could be out here on the 4 fresh tires, but I don't know if he's going to be able to make up his lap if a caution doesn't come out and these guys get his tires old, as I see Byron now coming down.
Yeah, Byron, he's coming down, he's locking him up right behind the 26 of Hunter Peach. So another thing you got to kind of think about on the other end of the spectrum there, Swats, is J-Pod came down earlier, probably about what was that, 5 or 6 laps right there? So these guys are going to have 5 or 6 laps fresher tire when they come on out. So yeah, we'll definitely have to see how that plays out. 26 and the 44 both pulling into their stall, getting those 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods have to come on out. But Nate Lehman was able to inherit the lead. Just as I say that, Jose Ruiz in that 23 K&N Ford F-150, he stayed out now and took the lead. That will bring Cole Snyder, Chris Murphy, and several others to gain spots as more and more go on down pit road for what could be their last stop, barring no more cautions.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch to see where Hunter Peach and Byron come out in comparison to J-Paw. J-Paw is now in turn 3 and 4. Hunter Peach and Byron are just going into 3 and 4. So they didn't come out that far behind Josh Arnold. So they're going to have 4 fresh tires. Byron's got a little bit of trouble back there with another truck, but Peach is trying to catch the back end of Enrique, who's right behind J-Paw. So J-Paw didn't get that much of an advantage, but now Hunter's going to have to go full tilt, and maybe that's what J-Paw's counting on, is Hunter burning off his stuff, trying to catch him, and J-Paw's close enough to Chris Murphy, who's right there in front of him. I think did Murphy pit there?
Murphy did. I don't think Murphy pit just yet. I
don't think he did yet either. So,
nope, I don't think he did. No.
So okay, so Murphy's going to be ducking off here at some point. J-Paw's going to inherit the lead back, and then that's going to be Enrique, Hunter, and Jeff Ludnam and Byron who are going to be battling it out. That's who it was Jeff Ludnam back there battling it out with Byron for 6th and 7th, but it will end up being about 4th and 5th once Murphy jumps off here.
Yeah, and if I was the 44 of Byron and the 37 of Lednam, I really wouldn't be battling side by side. That's really just going to wear out your tires, and it's taking you more time to make your way around this track. They need to get single file. 37, he is one hell of a racer. Really come into his own the last couple of seasons here on iRacing, irregardless of what series car, whether it's truck, Xfinity, whatever. I mean, we're talking about a guy that used to not be able to complete races because of his internet connection. He got all that squared away, and it seems like as soon as that happened, a fire was lit under that driver, and he's been in the top 10. It seems like forever, as it looks like they're able to sort out that battle between themselves. And don't look too far behind him. You see that Budweiser number 1. I know he's not on the lead lap, but if he was, he could have been a player inside this top 5 as well.
Yeah, Shad's going to look back at this race and be a little upset, just as he was last season.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be happy with this. But I'm looking at the pit strategy here, and actually Arnold was not the first one to come down pit road. Murphy was by 3 laps. So does Murphy have enough fuel? That's the question. I thought Arnold was right on the brink of it with 30 laps to go. 33, 34, 35, it's close.
Yep. When I talked to who was it about fuel? I talked to, actually it was Byron when I was wishing him good luck on the race, and he said about 35 to 36 was going to be max on the fuel run. So if that's when the 21 came on down pit road about 3 laps before J-Paw pit with 30 laps to go. So yeah, the 21, he was inside of his fuel window to be able to make it, and that's that's how he's able to gain that extra time on J-Paw. But Josh Arnold, he is there. He is all over the back bumper. Now the right is pushing that 21. We saw something very, very similar to that earlier, and the 50 ended up getting wicked loose and taking out the leader at the time. So I'm glad that that didn't happen again. But as these 3 race, you got the 24, you got the 21, and the 22. As these guys race, it's going to bring those that aren't too far off their bumper right into the mix. And we're talking about Jones, Lednam, Peach, and Canonis.
Yeah, Peach is there. He's on the back bumper, Enrique, now as they go almost 3 wide with Murphy for 2nd place. All 3 of them, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, battling it out as they go into 3rd, 3 and 4. 24, Cole Snyder is a lap down, so not in the play right there. But these 3 are just really battling to get to it as we are 16 laps to go. Peach is on the freshest tires of all 4 of the top 4 drivers right now, and he is trying to get as close as he can to Josh Arnold. And Josh Arnold is trying to say, don't come anywhere near me. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, I tell you what, if Chris Murphy was to try to re-challenge the 22, he's going to have to get through the 98. He's going to have, well, actually, the 98's now behind them. But right now, J-Paw's biggest friend is that 24 right behind
the Cold
him.
Dog Racing teammate of Cole
absolutely,
Snyder.
CDR. Actually, you know what?
And he moves out of the way.
Yeah, he moved
I give
out
big
of the way,
respect to
so-
Cole on that.
Absolutely. A whole lot of respect. That is
Now, these guys are
racing
friends,
with
too.
integrity.
Hunter is a friend of the J-Ball militia, so if you're wondering if that was maybe somebody else, would Cole have moved? I don't know, but he
We're
did
not
move out of the
racing
way
with
there.
CNN. This isn't fake news.
Yeah, Josh Arnold did say at one time though that there is no orders like that. They do not do that to each other. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't do anything
He
like
did.
that. They race each other 100% fair. So I like to see that though. Cole moving out of the way, letting Hunter go after J-Paw and saying, "Hey, go get him if you can get him."
Well, these three, I mean, it doesn't look like the 24 is willing just to, let the 26 go. 24, he's I believe, Cole is he's actually the first truck 1 lap down, and then it's Shad. He's 2 laps down, same as Jonah Bybee. Manning is 3 laps down, and Robert Amaral in that 77. His fight was lost 77 laps to go. The only truck out of the race is the 48 of Blevins, and that's very, very unfortunate because he showed to have a pretty fast machine very, very early in this race, but he will be credited with last place points as well as for leading a lap.
Yeah, we're noticing Hunter got to J-Paw pretty quick. Now, is he letting his tires cool down a little bit as he had to really work to get to J-Paw? He's got, 5 lap fresher tires than J-Paw. Did he burn them off to where now they're pretty equal? That's kind of the question. So is Hunter going to sit back here and kind of let J-Paw maybe push to stay out in front of Hunter or have the tires equalize? That's kind of the question here. And obviously we can't pull J-Paw in mid-race. That would definitely be a bad idea. Hunter, I'm not going to do that to him either. So we're going to have to wait to see what happens here. But 11 laps to go, Pete, and these two are battling it out for the lead. The rest of the field is kind of falling off. Enrique and Chris Murphy and Byron are sitting back there a ways off from these two. Hunter is trying to get to the back bumper of J-Paw, but I feel like he's just – I want to say he's just biding his time. He's waiting. But I could be wrong. He might have equalized his tires racing that hard to catch J-Paw.
Got to talk about racing hard, talking about Byron, the 21 and the 14. They were just 3 wide going through turns 3 and 4. 44 now to the outside of Nate Lehman. Your brother is absolutely shown to have a very, very fast Budweiser Chevy Silverado. He was able to get on by this entire pack of 3 or 4 and trying to gain a little bit of distance. I would have loved to have seen what would have happened. I'm sure he would have also. I'm sure he's actually listening to the full broadcast. Shad, buddy, I am sorry that happened to you in the early going. I would have loved to have seen you try to fight this out for a win.
Yeah, I don't want to rub salt in it, but he's actually the second fastest driver of the entire night.
There you go.
Blevins has the fastest lap of the night, and he's unfortunately out of the race as well. Second fastest of the night is Shad, and that's actually not even close. It's it's semi-close. It's 4 100ths off to third and fastest lap, and that's Hunter Peach.
There you go.
Who's now the leader. Just got by Josh Arnold. Actually, side by side.
Yep, they are side by side. 26 is on the outside of the double deuce. Going into turns 1 and 2. J-Paw keeping it right there down on
Hunter's
the
gonna
bottom.
have the momentum.
26 is going to keep him pinched down. And as you just said, that big M word, that momentum coming off the corner was able to go ahead and give him the lead. Pinching someone down, somebody that you trust, somebody that you know can hold that line is always a huge tactic to making sure that they aren't able to get in the throttle and get that run off the corner. as you see him now putting a little bit of distance between himself and Josh Arnold. But Enrique Canona is sitting back there in P3, Nate Lehman in P4, and Byron Jones now sitting inside the top 5.
Yeah, I think unless something happens here, P, I think this is it. Hunter, he waited a little bit behind Josh Arnold, cooled his tires down just a little bit, had those fresher tires to begin with, and just waited and made his move. Waited for the moment where J-Paw just maybe slipped up just a little bit where Hunter could get alongside him, and then carrying that momentum through 1 and 2, that's where you want to carry it to straighten out that backstretch to where you can just put it to the floor and keep on going to get to that 185 mile an hour into 3 and 4, and then roll through 3 and 4, and he's just stretched it on everybody. Now he's bumping it out to about a second now over J-Paw. But not to take it away from J-Paw. J-Paw had a very strong strategy there. If he brings it home second, that's a great race for J-Paw, third in points, chasing Hunter Peach too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, J-Paw's okay, how do I put this? When he came over to iRacing, it didn't automatically click for him. He's had to absolutely work with everybody, whether it was a J-Paw militia, J-Paw army, Team CDR, whatever. He's had a great band of friends around him the entire time. So they're all able to work with each other, their equipment, work with their race strategy. They do a great job as a collective team working with each other. You can't take anything from that double deuce. I've been a fan of his for a very, very long time, whether it's in NAR or NNR or whatever. I got a lot of respect for that double deuce.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to think about the transformation. When he was over at Heat or NASCAR Heat side, he was really known as the super speedway guy. Yep. I mean, like we've talked about when we go to super speedways, he had a whole rule designed and named after him for super speedways. Then we come to iRacing, and he's molded himself into an overall driver of all tracks. I mean, you see him on 1.5s, you see him on super speedways, you see him on short tracks now. You see him at, the traditional Pocono track that he was very, very good at all the time. And is still good at super speedways, and he's molding himself into a road course racer. Last road course race last season, he was still up there in the top 10 and one of the faster trucks towards the end of the race. So J-Paw has made a huge transformation. I mean, he's always been that great, respected, can hold his line. He's going to be, super smooth, super clean. But now he's just molded himself into a complete driver, I feel like. And I feel like that gives him the confidence, too, to go into these tracks and not, just know I'm good at a super speedway. But Peach, you can't take it away from him. That was my backup pick tonight, and he has led the final lap, wins Texas Motor Speedway 2 seasons in a row, and starts his trend of wins. Is this the race that now puts him, into the whole cycle of multiple wins? This is his first win. As he comes off turn 3 and 4, he claims this win. It was his from the last, 10 laps. That 26 Napa truck has been just fast all night, very well qualified. Hunter has the skill on any track really as well. We haven't really seen him win a super speedway yet, though. But road courses, 1.5s, short tracks, that's where J-Paw has molded himself into. I think that's what the skill levels of these guys, Shad, very fast tonight. Hunter Peach, very fast. J-Paw, very fast. Enrique, they're all so fast that they're driving each other to become faster and faster and better at different tracks, and it's really starting to show. I mean, like we said, Nate Lehman, broadcaster last season in trucks. Halfway through the season, he switched into a truck. Now he's up here finishing third tonight on the podium. So it's really great, Pete, to watch these guys and the transformation you see from season to season. I mean, all these guys have really good skill, but you see them coming into different races that you're just not used to seeing, them up here. And, they do a great job at just molding themselves into a complete driver, and we've seen that tonight. So,
absolutely. And you know what? You see, I've seen everybody come on up to this number 26 and either give them a donut on the door, give them a little bit of a push on the tailgate, just basically saying, big congrats. A lot of people got respect for Hunter Peach. He's done a lot since joining Turn Down for What. But I got to give a big nod to Shad Swatsworth as well, as he came in right behind this 26. It would have been interesting to see how that all would have played out if he was actually on the lead lap and that wreck within the first 10 laps didn't happen. But big congratulations one more time to Hunter Peach, Josh Arnold, and Nate Lehman. Those will be the top three that we'll have in the booth momentarily. Behind him is going to be the 98 of Enrique Quinones, the 44 of Byron Jones to wrap up your top five. Go ahead and burn them down.
Yep, I'm gonna send us the intermission real quick. We'll get the three drivers up here as we watch Hunter do his burnouts here. I'm gonna send us over to commercial break real quick. We'll grab those three drivers, bring them up here to the booth, and find out what their experience was tonight, and just give us an overall, I guess. So we'll be right back. All right, we are back in Burnout Lane. Top three are in the booth now. Pete, go ahead and take the third place finisher, Mr. Nate Lehman, our fellow old broadcaster, Commando Griff.
Nate, it's repeat. You got a copy, buddy.
Yes, sir. I got you.
All right, there we go. All right, bud. Well, we got a chance to talk to you earlier about your race and how you were feeling. Bringing it home P3. Do you feel like you should have pit just a little bit earlier to try to get up there with Josh Arnold or Hunter Peach after I think they pit right around lap 28, right around lap 30, give or take. What more did you need to maybe grab the W or at least P2?
Yeah, that one was definitely one that kind of snuck through my fingertips there. Probably should have had that one. Made the decision to come down under that caution when you guys were interviewing me to put tires on, and that got me mired back in stuff that I shouldn't have been involved in back there. So that set me back in the first place, and then I pit one lap after Peach did on that final stop. And that was the best I think I've ever got to pit road in my life at Texas. So still came out slightly behind them, and I was able to kind of follow him up through there and follow Shad a little bit and come home P3. So I don't know. I guess if I were to do anything over again, I would not take tires there on that under that caution.
Gotcha. Well, we didn't really see a whole lot of black flags. We definitely saw a lot of people getting very aggressive, getting to the commitment line here at Texas Motor Speedway. Congrats on a great P3. Going to Martinsville next week, trying for a grandfather clock. Don't quite remember where you finished last year or if you were still in the booth. What is your outlook rather on the paperclip, or do you think you might be spending a little extra time there getting prepared for that race next week?
I'm psyched for Martinsville. We just ran the NAOR race there the other night and came home P2 there. Finished behind Peach of all people. But I'm psyched for Martinsville, and I think we've got a pretty good shot to go toe to toe with him again, and probably J Paw and probably Shad and those kind of guys. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, buddy. And of course, last but not least, you got any quick shout outs?
Yeah, obviously, shouting out my smoking hot wife like always.
Waiting for it.
And just you guys for broadcasting. We really appreciate that. Shout out to all my CDR guys. Little 2-3-4 finish there for us, so not a bad night.
There you go. Hey, Swats. We've seen this very, very fast double deuce all around iRacing. I think you got old J-Pa.
Yeah, I got the 22. I figured he doesn't like me interviewing him during the race, so I figured I'd give it a shot and interview him after the race. Mr. J-Pa, Josh Arnold, we were watching you tonight, and you were super fast. Pete and I gave a little bit of probably a 5 minute rundown there before we got to the final lap, and giving you monster praises. Talking about how you've kind of molded yourself into this overall driver of on any track. Back in the day, NASCAR Heat, we kind of always looked to you to be the super speedway, Guru, Talladega, Daytona. Those were the tracks where you knew J-Paw was going to be out front. You knew he was going to be there at the end. And if he didn't win, he would be right there pushing the guy who probably won. Now you come to iRacing, and you got wins at super speedway. You got a win at I think a mile and a half. And now we got short tracks coming up in Martinsville, and I think you were one of the pushers to get Martinsville in. So great race tonight at Texas. You had the speed. Hunter just pitted a little bit later than you. Is that what the difference was, do you think? Or did you not put it up enough of a fight against Hunter when he got to you? Or, anything like that? Or what you got for us?
No, definitely the a little bit older tires. I pitted about 5 or 6 laps before Peach, and he came out right behind us, and he was able to tag onto some draft, suck right up there. I tried to block him and steal the lane, coming out of two, but he just had the nose there, and I mean I wasn't going to go up any higher, so he got the run, passed me, and took off, but. No, just proud of the team. I thought it was a good race overall. Had some mishaps with lap down cars there. Not me personally, but no, just overall a good race. Glad to finish second. Needed that after last week of those no tires working out, not working out. But
So you took tires this
shout
week, is
out.
what you're saying.
Hey, I definitely took the tires this time. I swear. But no, congrats to Peach. He's seems to be my nemesis. Anytime that I have a chance to win, he's right there, stealing it from me. So that stinks every single time I'm up there. But no, I mean I just gotta do one or two more things. Maybe stay in front of him there with 2 or 3 lap fresher tires or something like that. You never know. But no, shout out to the 21. He had a pretty good race today. I don't know if he's been to the booth a whole lot, but he had definitely a shot there at the end. And shout out to Shad. He won the pole and didn't get to race up there. I don't know what happened, but he didn't get to race up there very long. But no, thanks to you guys and 40H, and thanks to CDR for letting me take one of their rides.
Well, I mean, it was a great race. We loved watching you guys. You guys battled out. You and Murphy there were battling right at the end, and I was wondering if that battle is what brought Peach right up to you guys. And it looked like you guys rode around side by side for a little bit there, and it kind of drew Snyder in and Enrique in, which then allowed Peach to get to Enrique, and then we saw Snyder move out the way for Peach. And I know last season we kind of talked about CDR doesn't really do that. You guys don't, put blocks on drivers. You guys kind of just let the race fold or how it unfolds right on track, and you don't try to, sabotage other drivers to help your teammates like that. Was that the same thing going on tonight, or did you just think Cole was a lap down already, so he just moved out the way?
Yeah, Cole moved out of the way. He had a little bit of damage still on the car, so he wasn't all that fast down the straightaways. He was ripping in the corners, of course, but um, no, I mean, Peach passed Q, Peach passed Cole, and yeah, but the 21 man, he's the leader of the race. I got to try to get by him, so that's no no hurt feelings to him racing hard there for the lead. And that, yeah, running side by side will make the people behind you catch. So that could have been a little bit of part of it, but no, I mean, it just, yeah, I don't know how to describe it. I wanted to win, I really did, but glad it was one of the boys.
Well, you guys bring it home second, third, and fourth tonight. Great job as a team. Moves you up into
Oh
second
yeah.
place in points. So you are now in second instead of third. You move in front of Zach Meredith, who falls to third. Nate Lehman moving up into fourth in points. So, yeah, looking at the points, it's CDR in second, fourth, fifth. And who's the other teammate? Enrique. Not finding him in the top 10, so you're going to have to get with Enrique to get him moving up through the field here. But three of you in the top five. So, very good numbers for CDR.
Yeah, that no tires at Kansas probably gonna bite me all season, so I'll be thinking of that for a long time. So,
Well, we got some
but
tracks coming up that you were
thanks to
very
you and
good at.
Pete. Thanks to you and Pete for doing it. But no, Martinsville next week. I don't really know what to expect. I was maybe the only time I've ever run there. It was like fifth or sixth, seventh, really the whole race. I need to get a little bit better on the braking, getting into the corner, to give myself a chance to get up there and battle with the ones that we know will be up front. Because y'all wait till you see Peach put half the field a lap down after 30 laps. Y'all just wait for it. So, but y'all get ready to call his name next week a lot. So, but no, hopefully we're just in the running. I've been having really a lot of fun the last few races and hope it continues.
All right, well, four races into the season. You're sitting second. Martinsville coming up. iRacing Super Speedway coming up. Road America, Pocono. I mean, there's some big tracks here. Talladega, Indy. So the schedule is kind of lined out for a lot of tracks that I think you're going to be really good at. Like I said, through the race, we kind of talked about how you've kind of molded yourself into this overall, just any track throw you on, and you're going to be in the top five. Whereas, we used to look at you really as just the super speedway, bigger track kind of guy. But these tracks here on iRacing, you've definitely put the skill and experience and time in. You can tell in a lot of different races and leagues where you're just becoming a great driver to see on any style track. So good luck on the rest of the season. And any last shout outs for you, bud?
No, just shout out to you guys and Mike Gamble and the admins. Thanks for keeping us all together.
We got this guy named Hunter that was just hunting down the top four there, and definitely got the win tonight. Two-time winner at Texas, last season's winner here at Texas in the trucks, last season's champion in the trucks. Go ahead and see what that first place winner has to say about tonight's race.
Absolutely. Hunter Peach, it is repeat, bud. You got a copy.
Mr. Reapy, I got you.
Well, man, we got a chance to talk to you during the race as well under caution. Wondered what exactly it was going to take for you to go ahead and knock it out of the park. And you were able to get on up and put that 21 in victory lane. So, phenomenal race, kept it clean all race long. What was the deciding factor that got you to the lead and brings you to the W?
Honestly, just wasn't really the fastest car. Had to do a little bit of strategy there in the end. J. Paul and I know Griff were really good on the really long run. Blevins had trouble early, which kind of helped me there. I know I didn't have anything for him on the long run and short, so definitely wasn't the best car, so I had to play a little bit of strategy and try to run it out, and then maybe just, like I did in the end, just run it out, take the extra laps of tires, and run down J. Paul, and that was pretty much my only shot at probably catching them. Because overall, they were just faster than me the whole run. Just the tires really helped me there.
Tires absolutely seem to be the name of the game. At one point, Blevins was all the way out, and then I believe it was Nate Lehman ran him down, and then the 44 was out in the lead, and the 22 ran him down. It really seems like you had to be able to push it a little bit, and then reel yourself back to maintaining your tires, but also maintaining the gap between you and whoever was behind you. You didn't have to push it as hard as you could the entire time. Now, when you got up to and you were able to get on by the double deuce of J Pie and get past Cold Dog and the 24, at what point did you say, okay, I've got this. I don't have to push. I just need to make sure I can hit my marks and, complete this to be able to get to the checkers first.
Yeah, it's like J Paul was talking about with y'all. Whenever they were him and a 21 were battling there. I tried everything to get around Q so I can get up to him as fast as possible. That's what I was really trying to push, but I know he was battling him because I knew once he got out front, he was gonna set sail, and I probably would not had as good of a chance. So I pushed there early and then got up to him, kind of conserved just a little bit there, and was kind of trying to conserve more in 1 and 2, and then pushing more in 3 and 4. But I eventually got up there to him. Heck of a battle. I really enjoyed him running with the racetrack. I had a feeling I was actually going to hit him for a minute, but, I would have backed up. He camped a little bit more because I didn't want to wreck us both and jeopardize both of our finishes because none of us want that, But all in all, just phenomenal race. Having really fun these last couple weeks. Finally got a win after finishing, I believe, second and third at Kansas and Vegas. So feels good to win here in Texas. And shout out to Jake on a 9th place finish, really improving. Hoping he gets a win soon. And Bills for rebound after hitting the wall. I don't know how many times I finished 10th. So congrats to him, at least getting the top 10. But yeah, all in all, shout out to y'all. I'm putting on the broadcast and for Mike just starting this league and getting us all in here and just keep it under control.
Well, there you go, man. Big congrats on the W. You're firing off the 6-shooters. You get the Henry rifle as your trophy. You got any quick shout-outs, bud?
I did my shout-outs.
Alrighty, then. We'll leave it at that.
Peach, I got a question for you real quick.
Oh, there you go.
I wish I would have had the sound bit tuned up, ready to go, but I should have had the Chris Berman, the whoop, as soon as you faked out Byron. Like, you shook him so bad and stuttered him into that pit road that I was like, wow, he just faked him out completely. And we brought Byron in the booth, and he was like, yeah, me and Hunter were going back and forth. I'd go in like I was going in. I'd go back out. Hunter would go in, but go back out. And right at the last second, you missed the orange box by it was millimeters on the replay, and Byron just got completely snookered into going down pit road, and you faked him out so bad that he had to go to the back of the field. And it was just, I just wish I would have had the Chris Berman just whoop right tuned up, ready to go, because that was one hell of a fake.
That wasn't really my intention to do that. I was actually gonna probably pit there and just top off on fuel and take no tires, just because the caution laps just try to stretch a little bit further. So it really wasn't my intention. I guess you could say I learned it from Banner, learned the hard way at Darlington last season, Xfinity.
Well, it was definitely one for the books. I won't go back and clip it since Byron's in here now in the booth here, but I won't go back and clip that one and play it sometime or put it on social media. But that was a huge fake. I definitely enjoy going back and watching it. So great job on the win though. Yeah. Great job on the win. Moves you up into first in points by 7 points, so congratulations on that. Working on the bonus points, you and Josh and Meredith knocking down the bonus points. Josh has got 5 bonus points, you got 3, so got to catch him on that one. But great race, great job by everybody on track. A few little cautions here and there, a few little bumps that probably could have been avoided, but great race tonight, Pete. I enjoy being in the booth with you every single week. Looking forward to next week as we go down to Martinsville, track only a few hours from us, and then joining you back in the booth next week for ARCs at COTA, and then I start my new broadcast Monday nights for HTL Racing League. Still looking for a couple of different drivers. It's $30 to enter that one, but it's going to be pretty fun on the next gens. I'm looking forward to this kind of broadcasting schedule, like you said, where it gets molded together. You can't remember which one you were at last night or which one's tonight. So it's going to get a little heavy Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays now. But I'm definitely going to always turn out for what is always going to be my home. It's always going to be my favorite one to come back and broadcast for. I love all the guys that are here and love watching them race, and I love watching the growth, like we talked about with Josh Arnold. Just the transformation he's made from more super speedway to now 1.5 miles are scary for anybody else if he's on track. He's right there with Hunter. Short tracks are coming up. I know he's really good at Bristol too. That's on the schedule with Martinsville now. So there's so many good tracks coming up, and there's so many good drivers in this league. You never know. Each week we've had, what is this, the 4th different winner 4 races in a row for Turn Down for What in trucks. I don't think we have a multi-time winner yet. So it's going to get really interesting throughout the rest of the season on who can keep up with points. And Hunter getting his first win tonight, does that start the trend of multi wins as he was that multi two time or double digit winner last season? So nobody wants to maybe see the or the rest of the field maybe not wanting to see him start that trend of multi wins in a row. But I have a feeling all these guys are going to come out next week at Martinsville and really try to put it down and maybe keep him from doing what Josh said of lapping the field. So we'll see what happens next week, Pete. But great race, and I really enjoyed all the chat the chatter that was going on in the stream chat and all the people that viewed. I think we're up around 20 again, so really love seeing that every week, and can't wait for next week's Martinsville race.
Yeah, next week in Martinsville is going to be absolutely phenomenal. And could we see our next our next winner? And just like the HTL, they're kicking off next Monday. Tomorrow night, I'll be kicking off my very first race covering the Shake and Bake series, and they've got a whole line of sponsors that are going to that we'll be covering each and every week. But yeah, Monday night's going to be the Shake and Bake Cup series. Thursday night's going to be their Indy car series. On Tuesday, I'm with SRN. Saturday, both you and I cover the ARCs guys. But just like you said, we all used to call, or many of us here used to call NNR home. I have to agree with you. Turn Down for What? Since NNR is now defunct, is my home as well. Looking forward to every single one of these Sunday night races after the real one that we get to watch during the day. But yeah, Martinsville next week. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how, hopefully we get, 20 plus cars out on, or trucks out on that paper clip, and we're calling another great race, and we're calling home another great winner. Thank you very much for having me once again, Swats. Until next week, bud.
Yep, catch everybody next week, same time every week, and I'm going to send you guys out on the ending scene here, and everybody stay safe, and we'll catch you next week.